I am watching you. Hey, tubers! Matt M. Roy back once again. Let me turn the light off on this. I was going through my closet the other day and came across this gem. Haven't used these in a while. This is my Sony, what is this one? DCR TRV 280. Guess I can go that way. Ain't going to matter because it's going to be inverted. But anyway, a lot of people have been asking me where have these been and why I haven't been using them. Well, it's very hard to use these now because everybody expects things to be in full HD. And unfortunately, these are only 480i. They're not high definition. I mean, I can up convert them to at least 720p. So let me know if you guys want to see more videos with these. These are my old Sony Handycams. They are digital 8. I always find this so satisfying how these work. To get the tape out of here, you basically just pull that back, and a little cage comes up, pops out, and Bob's your uncle. There's your tape right there. Digital 8 in this case. Well, high 8, I should say. This one's actually a digital 8 tape. I've never actually heard of a digital 8 tape. I've heard of high 8 tapes, which work in digital 8 camcorders, just like the regular 8mm do. So this must be like a really high quality tape. I love these things. I love filming with them. I think they're super cool, super retro. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I think I'm going to do a few more videos with these because at the end of the day, they are just so much fun to film with. And these are the only camcorders I have that have the night shot mode. You can see that right there. In this case, night shot plus, which allows me to film in totally pitch black. So I think we're going to go ahead and use those maybe in the near future. Michael Laforte stopped working. Yeah, they do have certain issues. I'm on my third or fourth one of those. I actually wore the other ones out. I have my early footage was filmed with almost those things, almost exclusively using those things. I probably have about 100 digital 8 tapes filled with my early videos. And I actually wore 2 of those out. The tape mechanism broke. It technically still works, but it's so noisy that's all you hear is the tape line. And the other one, the built-in speaker broke. So yeah, it is what it is. They're not going to last forever. I'm doing well, Tyler. I mean, I've been better. Today it's just been kind of one of those down, dreary days, just kind of feeling down. It happens to the best of us. Certain things weren't going right. Like I couldn't work on the PT Cruiser today because it's been raining all day long. It's terrible. When it rains, you just can't do anything. JVC, I never knew JVC made a digital 8. I knew Sony did, and I knew that Hitachi had some, but usually digital 8 was like Sony's proprietary format. They of course had other 8mm camcorders, but basically what happened was Sony wanted to extend the life of 8mm, so they went and developed this digital 8mm format, which this uses. And you can actually see right there, it says digital 8. And basically what that is, it records a digital signal to the analog tape. It's really weird how it does it, but it really does a good job. And if you have a high 8 or digital 8 tape, the quality is even better, but you can actually use a original 8mm tape as well. Yeah, that was about the time, 2005 was about the peak of when these were really popular. This particular one, I think, dates from 2006. I have some Sony DCR TRV 280s that actually date from 2003, 2004. And the only way that I can easily get footage off of this is the good old FireWire connector. They do have USB 2.0, but that's only for transferring pictures. That does not work for transferring video. The only way to do video on this is the FireWire port or the composite AV, which would be much harder because I'd have to have some type of digital capture card. Paul Cates has some old family videotapes on high 8, and I have a dual deck VCR with an S with a VHS deck and an 8mm deck. Those are rare. Those are very hard to find, the ones that actually read 8mm. Sony put them out for a little while, but for whatever reason, they didn't engineer them very well, so they tended to break quickly, and people would just throw them out. So you're very lucky. Hold on to that. George Blakely has a CCD TRV 308. I think that's an older one. I do remember those. That's the one that has kind of like the longer lens on it and isn't as quite as boxy as these are. Also, that one doesn't have the telescoping viewfinder like these do, but they don't need it because the viewfinder's already sticking out more on those. I'm sorry if I don't seem that enthusiastic tonight. I don't know. It's just one of those days, you know, when the rain gets to you, you kind of feel down. I don't want to use the word depressed, but I think I'm feeling a little depressed today. You know, when things don't go your way, sometimes you just need a hug. Isn't that right? I don't know. That's what they say. All right, tubers. So, want to give you an update on the few things that we've done to the PT Cruiser. I actually picked up a pair of front speakers for it. Tomorrow I got to try to put those in. Going to go ahead and drill 3 new holes, and I have to cut away the old connector because Chrysler, in their infinite wisdom, instead of using those 2 alligator clip-looking things that most car audio speakers use, they use some proprietary clamp, and I got to cut that away, and I got to add my own clips to it. It's going to be a lot more of a hassle than I thought, but it should be fine. They're the right size, 6.5-inch. They're Boss speakers, so decent quality, not the highest quality, but again, I'm not going to be putting some crazy 500,000 watt radio in this thing. Pretty much I'm going to keep the stock radio, so these will sound decent, especially compared to the speakers that were in there, because the speakers that were in there in the front, somebody had blown, at least the driver's side one. I think the passenger side one is okay. Matt, if you have to cut it short, then cut it short. Yeah, I may do that tonight. I'm just not feeling myself tonight, so man, we'll see. I hate to do that for you guys because I know a lot of you guys like to see these live streams. The Silver Beast. Paul, you're still pushing that name. I don't know. I think that might be a good name for it. The Silver Beast, the Silver Beater. No, the Silver Beast sounds better. Any more computer updates? Nothing really. I did pick up, actually got 2 Chromebooks from a friend of mine, but I'll probably wait and show those in another video when I can actually get to do a regular video, hopefully soon. As a matter of fact, I need to look and make sure if I'm going to use this, I think my next video of which is going to be the review of that Kenwood turntable, is going to be with this Handycam. I need to make sure I actually still have the FireWire cable hooked up to this so I can import the video. What? Oh no, our cat's being bad. He's on the dining room table again. Shame, 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 Mr. Kitty. That's Milo for sure. Baxter doesn't usually do that. Have I listened to the Guardians of the Galaxy records yet? Yes, I have, multiple times, and I really love them. I don't much like record number 2. Record number 2 is just a theatrical score. In other words, the classical music. Not that fond of those, but the main soundtrack with all the old 80s songs, love them. Love them. Robert Jones and Matt, have you ever had to deal with ransomware? Not personally. I've had clients that have had ransomware, and that is not fun to get rid of. A lot of times, your only option is a format reload because that ransomware gets so deep into your operating system that there's usually no way to get it out. For those of you who don't know what ransomware is, they're hackers that put a virus, an infection in your computer, and it actually locks you out of your computer or it locks you out of your data, and they hold that data for ransom. They'll call you and say, look, We have your data. If you want it back, you got to pay us $500, $1,000, even upwards of $1,500. So be smart. If you get a call like that, unless your data is really, really important, I wouldn't give these people a dime. Not a dime. The old Sony TRV 280. Yeah, I still have a few of them, and they actually work decently too. But I find that the TRV 260 is just a little bit more fun to work with. It's a little lighter. It doesn't have quite as many features. Like, it doesn't have the easy edit functions. It's missing a few other things too, but it makes it a little lighter to hold. The one thing I do have to say about the TRV 260, it has a lot more mechanism noise, unfortunately. So sometimes in the videos you hear like a kind of a clicking sound, click, 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 kind of like that. But we'll see what happens. I'll attempt to do the review of the Kenwood turntable with this, and we'll see how it comes out. If I don't like it, I'll scrap it and use a TRV 280. Polkin, have you done anything with the Polaroid turntable? I know you were messing around with the idea of connecting it to a home stereo. No, I was never going to do that. It's not a turntable that I would use on a regular basis. It's sitting in my closet, not this one, the one over there. I'll probably take it out sometimes for parties, but other than that, I really don't have any specific plans for it. Flips May is here. Hello to you, Flips. Nice to see you. Flips May says, I have a Canon Mini DV camcorder. Continuously makes a squeaking noise when recording a video. Okay, it's probably the cap stand. It's one of two things. Either the cap stand needs to be lubed, or you may have a belt that's sticking. If you're not familiar with working on camcorders and you really want to get it fixed, bring it to a professional, because they can be really challenging to work on. Stephen Barber said, hope you're all having a good night. I just had bad luck, LOL. I turned off the server at my school somehow, and dumb me didn't create a back door to turn it on via network trip. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. So you have to make a trip all the way back in just to reboot it. No, I've never tried programming. No, not my cup of tea. Sunset at Shaboom says hi. Hello, back to you. Man, I am just feeling so lethargic tonight. I tried getting up to my 20,000 steps. I wound up getting 30,000 yesterday, believe it or not. I'm not even quite there. I'm at 19.5 today, and I may not even make 20. I'm going to try. But just so you guys know, I am not lying. That was yesterday. 31,118 steps. That's 15.71 miles at an average of 3.2 miles per hour and 2,000 calories burned. So I think I have a right to be tired today, don't you? Yes, Ruben, I did see that. Always back up your data. I've said that many, many times. Windows 10 makes it easy. You can set it to automatically back up to a tertiary drive, and that is really what you should do. Flips May, my father used to own a VCR repair shop in the early 2000s. He closed the store due to nobody showing up. Yeah, everything's BPC now. You throw it out. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Chris Bartlett is here. Don't worry about it, Chris. You're here. That's what counts. 15 minutes in, 18 watchers, 9 likes. That is totally awesome. I don't know what's going on with the super chats. I had quite a few people the other day tell me they sent me super chats. I saw them show up here temporarily, but they're not showing up in the analytics. So if you guys do give me a super chat, don't feel too bad if I don't acknowledge it right away. I will as soon as I see it in the chat window, or the next day when I see it hopefully listed in the analytics. Oh, I've done that before, fallen asleep. Though I'll be honest with you, I can't nap much anymore. I don't know what it is. I used to be able to nap a lot. Now I have too much energy during the day. I probably should lay off the coffee too. I probably drink the equivalent of 6 cups of coffee a day, and that really keeps me awake, but it also makes you a little jittery. Definitely don't want to drink coffee if you're doing sensitive work, like work with like an X-Acto knife or something. That could be disastrous. All right, turning to some interesting news. Alvin and the Chipmunks are celebrating their 60th anniversary with a star on the Walk of Fame. That is right. The Chipmunks are getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I just got that news on Facebook. I think it's well deserved. I don't think there are a lot of cartoons out there that get stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, so kudos for them sticking around that long. And of course, with 2 iterations, the father and then the son. Ross Bagdasarian Sr. passed away, I think, in the 70s, and then his son took over the franchise and now voices Alvin. Really, I love the Chipmunks. You guys know that, and nothing's going to change about that. Flips May says he runs on caffeine and anger. Well, caffeine's good. Anger, I've had issues with that in the past too. Better just to pray to whatever God you believe in. Pray, because that'll help you with your anger. Ooh, excuse me. Hard Gun says used to caffeine and nicotine for me, giving up the nicotine. Good, excellent. That's good. And you know what? You can only give up one thing at a time. I am not going to give up coffee because I've actually read studies that say people who drink coffee live on average about 10 years longer. And it's really good for your cardiovascular system. So not giving it up. Sorry. I don't think I have sleep apnea. I know people that do. I usually sleep fine at night, really. I just don't drink any coffee anymore at night because just that would keep me up. If I drank coffee past like 5 p.m., I wouldn't be able to stay awake. Yeah, I think I just answered Paul's question there, and I like that. Unreal. Oh, Dunkin' Donuts K-Cups, they're okay. I do not like Folgers coffee at all. Never did. Coffee and a cigar in the morning. You sound like my uncle. I hope he doesn't mind me telling you that, but he's a huge cigar fan. Loves them. Absolutely loves them. Got 17 watchers. Yeah, I know I'm kind of losing steam here. Just looking at some other vehicles on Craigslist. Tomorrow, Dad and I are going to put the PT Cruiser up on the lift that we have in the garage, and we're going to do an oil change, and then we're going to go ahead and do my mom's car too because they both need it. And it's going to give us a chance to look underneath because we want to make sure that there aren't any like major suspension problems. Look for other things as well. And if all that checks out, then we're going to continue working on it and bring it over to my buddy Travis. Now, here's the kink. If we get it up on the lift and we see some major problems, then I might just stop working right now, put everything back together, and list it for sale. We just got to see what happens. I'm not going to throw thousands of dollars into that thing. It's just not worth it. Kelly Blue Book value on that vehicle, even once we get all the stuff repaired, is only going to be about $1,500, $2,000. So I'm probably going to have in it what it's worth. So if worst case scenario it doesn't work out, then I'll sell it on and buy something else. That's the great thing. You can always try and try again. Appetite revenge for adventure. I hate to ask this because you're doing so well with the diet, but have you had a McDonald's McRib yet this year? No, I haven't, but I am going to. That is one of my little vices whenever McDonald's brings them back. I absolutely love it. And let's look something up real quick. Let's see what the calories are. Okay. That's actually not too bad. There's 500 calories in a McRib, 26 grams of fat, which is a lot, but I could probably do that in a small order of fries, and that could be a good lunch. So, yeah, I would definitely do it. I love it. That's one of my absolute favorite. That's about the only lunch item I will ever order from McDonald's. I don't like their burgers. I don't like their chicken. I love McDonald's breakfasts, but you reminded me. I think we're gonna need to do that. Maybe we need to do a food review. Chris Bartlett says, "Is registering a car a lot over there? I did mine for a year. Was 600 Australian dollars. Wow. No, it's about $40 here. 38 or $40 a year to register a car. Insurance might be a little bit more. That's where it might kill me on this PT Cruiser, but I'm just getting liability. I'm not getting comprehensive full coverage. Yeah, $600 sounds like an awful lot for vehicle registration. Over here, it's nowhere near that much. Stephen Barber says, same. I don't care for McDonald's, but their breakfast is okay. Not a fan of their coffee. If you know me, I love Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, I love McCafe coffee. That is my number one favorite coffee. The McCafe medium roast is one that they actually use in McDonald's themselves. You can buy the K cups and get the breakfast blend, which is light roast, and then the dark roast coffee. But I like the K cups, the actual medium roast ones, and I can usually get them when we go up to my uncle's at the local Village Variety for quite a bit less than they would be in the stores. Like I think I got like an 84 pack for like $25. Great deal, absolutely great deal. $433.80 in US dollars. That's crazy. You guys must have a lot of taxes over there. You got to remember, I only paid $500 for this thing, so I mean, I have to figure it out. But I think it's like 5 or 8%. Even let's say it's 8% tax on $500 is $40. So at the very most, I'll be paying maybe like $80 to register this thing. Oh, yeah. See, well, that answers my question. It's a lot, but includes insurance. Yeah. See, in the United States, we have to buy our insurance separately, and the insurance might be $40 a month for that. So let's say $40 times 12, $480. So actually, you're getting the better deal when I think about it, because that's $480 right there a year for insurance. And that's not including the $40 that I have to pay for the registration. So actually, Chris Bartlett, you're getting a better deal. Paul Keene, in Arizona, most of the road taxes are collected through vehicle registration. If you buy a new car for say 50,000, your registration might cost you 2,500 for the first year. Yeah, I can see that. And we have what's called personal property tax. Excuse me. Had to silence the phone there. I forgot I turned the ringer back on. Be interesting if Canada became part of the U.S. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. I think we might take. I was always interested if we might do something like that with Mexico. I always said that I thought it'd be interesting if we like merged with Mexico. I'm not saying it would be a good thing, but it's something I think that they might consider in the future, seeing as how bad it is, and the fact that our borders are pretty much open right now. No questions on borders. That's all I'm saying about that. Let's move on. Oh, man. My sinuses are acting up again. Oh, no, as usual. Was something else I wanted to tell you guys, but the way my mind's been today, I know I forgot about it. Oh, um, the Chromebook. Let me show you this thing really quick. Woo! This is a Acer Chromebook from 2013. On the face of it, nothing really super special. You can see you got the Chromebook logo on top there, Acer. But what's really cool about this is running an Intel Celeron processor, but this has a 320 gigabyte Seagate Barracuda hard drive and has 8 gigs of RAM. Now, it originally came with 2, but basically all I had to do was remove this one screw up here, and this whole undercarriage slides off, and underneath here are 2 DDR3 SO-DIMM RAM slots. So I was able to upgrade this thing to 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Matt, 8 gigs of RAM for a Chromebook? That is crazy overkill. And it is. I just did it because you could. And believe it or not, this thing runs super fast now. Let me see if I can open up Chrome here. Look how fast that started. I mean, that's insane. I really want to do a video just solely with this because I find this a really interesting specimen. When I think of most Chromebooks, I think of Chromebooks that have like soldered on memory, like two gigs, maybe 4 if you're lucky, and also have solid state memory, usually like 16 or 32 or 64 gigabyte. The fact that this is basically like a regular laptop is very interesting to me. I've not actually seen a lot of these in the past. Uh-oh, Flipsame does not like Chromebooks. He thinks they're overpriced paperweights. Well, I can't say this was overpriced because I didn't pay anything for it. I actually traded for it, which was a really good trade on my part. This one does not have USB 3, though. I actually got another one from the same gentleman, my buddy, and that other one has USB 3. This is just USB 2.0. But the other one is a Asus Chromebook. Take it back, Samsung Chromebook. And that is your more typical Chromebook with the soldered on memory. I think that one has 2 gigabytes and the basically flash memory. So I'm not sure. I think that one's 16 or 32. But very interesting little Chromebook. I like them. I always did. I know a lot of people didn't like them. They have their limitations. It's not like a regular Microsoft laptop, but for internet use, these things work great for their intended use, to be honest with you. You can run Linux on a Chromebook or Ubuntu. Yeah, and I can imagine you could probably find a way to put Windows on that too because it's running an Intel processor. It's not like it's running a Qualcomm or a VIA processor, which wouldn't work with Windows. I mean, that's just a basic Intel Celeron in there. Paul Kane, what about the town car you were looking at? Is that still available? I believe it is. Let me see if I can find that. That's a good question. Yeah, here it is. He actually lowered the price to $1,700. We went down and saw it. Really nice town car for the most part. The outside is beautiful. I think they just waxed it. But the main problem with that was 2 things. One, it needed tires like immediately. The tires were bald. Number 2, it had no heat. There was something wrong with the blend door, and I knew that could be a pretty costly repair. I think my dad was more into buying it than I was. But at the end of the day, it was my money, and I didn't want to spend the money on it. Interesting. I didn't know that. Ruben says old VIA CPUs can run old versions of Windows. I'm thinking probably like pre-Windows 2000. I know you can't run Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10 on a VIA CPU. Might be able to do it with Windows XP with the right hacks. All right, tubers, I'm going to make this a 30-minute one. I'm just not feeling up to it tonight. Hopefully, we can do another longer one tomorrow. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.